WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Okay, I'm back with you, and this time it is the appropriately scheduled program at the right time. As you would have noted earlier, I started Voices prematurely, so my apologies for that. And I'm going to have to program myself to remember that Island Tea finishes at approximately around 9:45, and I prepare myself for Voices, which starts at 10 o'clock. Okay, so I'm back with you, and earlier, when I prematurely started Voices, I began to play a clip dealing with the top 5 Caribbean leaders for the year ending 2024 into 2025. I'm going to continue that. I'm going to, restart that. And if you want to interject and speak on any topic that you wish, if you are listening and you want to bring up any topic that you wish, you can do so. And I'll just pause this, and when you finish, I'll continue it. But let's start Voices today with this clip as it relates to the top Caribbean leaders.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
As 2025 unfolds, the Caribbean continues to stand tall as a global symbol of resilience, innovation, and visionary leadership. In a world facing rapid change, the region's political leaders have once again proven their ability to navigate challenges and seize opportunities, driving transformative progress on both local and international stages. From spearheading climate resilience initiatives to fostering economic growth and social equity, these leaders are redefining the future of their nations and the world. In this video, we count down the top 5 Caribbean political leaders for 2025, celebrating their remarkable achievements in governance, diplomacy, and policy innovation. Discover how leaders like Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, Barbados' Mia Mottley, and Guyana's President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali have set new benchmarks for leadership in a rapidly evolving world. Stay tuned until the end as we show you the visionaries shaping the Caribbean's destiny. Let's get right into it. Starting with Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell of Grenada at number 5. Throughout 2024, Prime Minister Mitchell demonstrated exceptional leadership, particularly in confronting diversity. Following Hurricane Beryl's devastation in July, which caused significant damage to the island, Prime Minister Mitchell navigated his country through the recovery building process. Not only that, under his leadership, Grenada became the first country to activate a unique debt clause in its government bonds, allowing the postponement of $30 million in debt repayments. This strategic move provided vital funds for disaster relief efforts and infrastructure recovery, demonstrating the country's forward-thinking financial management. Perhaps due to this devastation, Prime Minister Mitchell took it upon himself, as chair of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, to be a vocal advocate for the region on the international stage regarding climate justice. He urged developed nations to honor their commitments to reduce emissions and provide climate financing. Additionally, the country's economic future looks bright. Prime Minister Mitchell fostered significant international partnerships in 2024, namely through a visit to Beijing, where agreements were made to advance the country's infrastructure, trade, and development goals. This relationship has opened new avenues for economic growth, and a long-term development plan is on the horizon to enhance Grenada's prosperity. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and finding value in it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Thank you. Next at number 4, we have Prime Minister Philip Davis of the Bahamas. Another leader who has navigated his country through some major challenges in 2023 to economic success. Prime Minister Philip Davis has demonstrated steadfast leadership by implementing policies to enhance social welfare and advance climate resilience. On top of that, this year, the Bahamas saw some of the region's most substantial economic growth. Bolstered by tourism, the country welcomed record-breaking passenger numbers of 5.6 million in 2024, just to the Nassau cruise port, fueling future expansion ideas for the Bahamas. On the international stage, Prime Minister Davis has continued to advocate for climate justice, emphasizing the unique challenges faced by small island developing states, SIDS, and calling for global action to address climate change. The country joins growing trends of debt for climate swaps, where countries promise better protection of precious ecosystems in return for reducing their debts. This step is set to improve the country's marine parks and protected areas network. In his address to the United Nations General Assembly this year, it is no surprise that the Prime Minister highlighted the disproportionate impact of climate change on small island developing states, SIDS, calling for urgent action to address rising sea levels, extreme weather, and environmental degradation. Moving on to number 3, we have the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit of Dominica, with his leadership, has proven to be a steadfast leader for the country, leading Dominica to economic success, climate resilience, and social progress. The country's tourism sector has also seen phenomenal growth from tourists seeking a quieter destination and increased connections to the rest of the world. However, the biggest news came as Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced the groundbreaking and highly anticipated international airport during a contract signing ceremony for the project in November 2024. The transformed airport is set to allow for bigger aircraft into the country and open its capacity for international travelers from far-flung destinations, all slated to open later this year in 2025. Skerrit's leadership also emphasizes modernization, with major projects like constructing a geothermal energy plant and improving network connectivity. Prime Minister Skerrit's steady leadership continues to guide Dominica toward greater prosperity and resilience, ensuring that the nation remains on track to achieve even more ambitious goals for the future. Now at number 2, there's the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Mottley.
Okay, I'm going to pause that there, take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the individual who is at number 2, Mia Mottley. And like I said, if you're listening and you want to call in and speak on any topic, any issue that you wish. What I'll do is engage you and we will have a bit of a conversation. Right about now, let me take that break and I will return.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We run things, things are on we. Basta, basta. Living color, do it differently. Basta, basta. Not an in charge, like for the party. Basta, basta. We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
And the time in the studio is approximately 13 minutes moving away from the 10 o'clock hour. I started this issue of Voices today with a clip relating to the top 5 leaders in the Caribbean. And we have reached the point where we are at number 2. That is Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Let me see if I can continue.
Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Mottley. A former winner of our Top Caribbean Leaders Countdown, we have none other than the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Mottley. A former Times 100 Most Influential People, Ms. Mottley has continued to chart the way on the international stage as a champion for climate justice. Mia Mottley is one of the world's most vocal advocates for wealthy nations and historic polluters to support the most vulnerable countries facing permanent loss or damage from climate change. Her Bridgetown initiative, first introduced in 2022, gained significant international traction as it called for comprehensive reforms to the global financial system, aiming to provide greater support for vulnerable nations confronting the climate crisis. Last year, Prime Minister Mottley launched the Bridgetown Initiative 3.0 at the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States in Antigua and Barbuda, further emphasizing the need for equitable financial structures to address climate challenges. In recognition of her unwavering commitment and innovative leadership, Prime Minister Mia Mottley was named among the world's leading environmentalists on the Independent Climate 100 List 2024. This accolade celebrates her efforts in advocating for a more just and equitable global financial system to support nations battling the climate crisis. And finally, moving on to number 1, we have President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, is a leader who has continued to successfully navigate the challenges of rapid economic development. Swapping places with Prime Minister Mottley from last year in 2024, President Ali spearheaded significant initiatives to enhance the nation's socio-economic landscape. Flourishing from the influx of oil wealth, President Ali's government has prioritized transformative development projects to modernize the nation's infrastructure and improve its citizens' quality of life. Among these were key initiatives such as expansions to Guyana's road and transportation networks, including significant progress on the transformative new Demerara River Bridge project. Not to mention the Amela Falls Hydropower project and the notable housing development program were also a part of his efforts to help the country develop. Under President Ali's leadership, the government invested over $200 million to cultural programs, education, and sports development. This culminated in a cash grant program where every adult citizen of Guyana was eligible to receive 100,000 Guyanese dollars cash grant, equivalent to approximately $500. Ensuring that the country simultaneously prioritizes environmental protection. President Ali also this year, in a landmark announcement, revealed plans to include Guyana's protected areas within 18 months, elevating the coverage from approximately 8.4% to 16% of the country's landmass. This initiative is pivotal to the Low Carbon Development Strategy LCDS 2030, underscoring Guyana's commitment to environmental conservation and sustainable development. Under the leadership of President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, Guyana has experienced a transformative 2024, marked by significant progress in economic development, infrastructure, housing, education, and environmental conservation. President Ali has strengthened Guyana's internal systems while elevating its international standing by leveraging the nation's growing oil wealth to drive inclusive growth. The success of his administration sets the stage for a bright future where economic opportunity, social equity, and environmental stewardship converge to ensure lasting prosperity for all Guyanese. Let's see what 2025 holds. We understand that influence can be subjective, so we have some questions for you. Do you believe climate justice and economic resilience should remain top priorities for the region? Are there any leaders you think should have made this list? Which Caribbean leader has impressed you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Check out this video on the...
Okay, there you had it. The Caribbean top leaders for 2024-2025. And some questions there at the end. Do you think that climate conditions should remain at the top of the list as it relates and pertains to the Caribbean region? And do you feel that there was a leader you feel should have been in the top 5 that was excluded? Perhaps in the near, not too distant future, we can see our own leader of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis in the top 5. The time, 18 minutes moving away from the 10 o'clock hour, and I'm sort of perusing some news as it relates to the Caribbean. I see something here that relates to Jamaica becoming a republic. Is Jamaica finally reaching that point where they will sever the colonial ties, and how will that play out? Let me see if I can indulge you in that bit of a conversation. Remember, again, if you wish to interact, you can bring up any issue that you wish, speak on any topic that you wish, or you can continue to converse as it relates to the issues that have been played so far. The numbers are 466-0989, 762-0989, 30. Well, I see we do have a caller here. Hello.
Good morning.
Good day, Mrs. Henry. And how are you today?
Yeah, giving God thanks, man. Yeah, giving God thanks.
Yes.
Am I on here or what?
You are on air live.
Oh, good morning to all the listeners at home and abroad. This morning you seem to be depriving me of my birthday coming up.
How am
today
I?
was the 3rd of February. It is March, you know. Time is marching on.
Oh, well, man, bear with me. I have everything all mixed up. That means I have to go ahead. That means I'm gonna have to make some changes.
Your calendar.
Yes, I'm glad that you enlightened me. Man, I tell you, it's been a hectic day, and so go ahead. Is there anything?
Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
I will.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
Yes.
My birthday will be on the 7th, which is Friday, the 7th of March. So when you push back a whole month, carry it back.
My apologies. As you would have
Anyway.
as you would have noted, I even started voices prematurely. You know.
I I heard you, but I thought you just make a mistake and said the name.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, keep the faith.
Yes, go ahead.
All I mean, the calendar rolling on you, boy. You get in there. You know, yesterday it was 17. So, now, to issues. I don't even heard about the Anguilla issue. A new premier was sworn in. They had election and they won. We just I don't remember the other part of the name.
Yes.
And I was listening to Observer Radio on Sunday. This lady, Miss Arundel, I think is behind the news or something like that. It is called.
Yeah.
And they were focusing on the Anguilla premier swearing allegiance to Anguilla.
Okay.
That was the topic.
Bravo.
Yeah. I mean, she got a lot of compliments because you said a lot of us, we keep swearing, and Anguilla is a colony, you know.
Yeah. So Miss Henry, that poses something. That means we who say we are independent, that means we can also swear allegiance.
Yeah, I heard Andrew Holness.
So it's
last election, he swore allegiance to the people of Jamaica.
Yeah. So that means our leaders...
I don't know if you realize, but people are very disappointed when Dr. Drew was sworn in on his thing. And rather than swearing allegiance to St. Kitts, they went to the King Charles III or whatever he is.
Yeah. Well, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, people all, say, well, they hope the other Caribbean countries take notice and do something about it.
Yeah.
Because it means that you are interested in the interests of the people of the country. They become priority.
Yes.
And we're talking about, we want to become a republic. That has gone off the table.
Yeah.
And we were promising on. We're going to pursue it.
Yeah.
It's not even up for discussion now. We have the Governor General. Well, she could become the president.
Yeah.
If they're thinking more along political lines, where she wouldn't get a whole term to serve, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she's not working for us, even though we're paying her. She represents the king.
Yeah.
So that was the big news.
That is big news. Big news. Because it then means that more of our leaders need to challenge some of the things that have been sort of ongoing, the trends. Our leaders need to start challenging them. Yeah. Yeah, well, bravo.
Jamaica now, they're going to Republic. They're having surveys and a lot of discussion going on in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Now, I got a call over the weekend by an interviewer who said she's working for some Jamaican company.
Yeah.
And they are surveying our response to the CCJ. Do you know anything about it?
No.
It's quite extensive.
Enlighten me as to what you do know.
Yeah, what they say, what exactly is our response to becoming a member of the CCJ as court of last resort? Because we are member of CCJ. Eh?
Yes, we are.
In terms of trade and migration and so. Because, I mean, when you look at it, everybody have the eye on the Privy Council. I don't know how much insult you could take. If a woman tell you, look, I don't think you should come back here, You're going to show up, but I do every morning. The last time this Privy Council said the Caribbean countries should stop coming.
When was that last statement made?
After, you remember, when we had the case with the election.
Yes.
Right.
I thought...
It was actually said by one of the lords or whoever he was.
Yeah.
The Caribbean countries maybe Commonwealth countries rather, should consider having their own. Well, we have our own, but one of the questions asked was, do we trust the CCJ as court of last
appeal?
resort?
Yes. That is the big question, because a lot from what I gather, a lot of the Caribbean individuals, the populace, question whether the CCJ will align themselves with the governments as opposed to representing the people.
But they're still going to people who don't know anything about them.
Yeah, well, maybe they feel that even though we are in a bit of a quandary, you know, that we are trying to sever.
It's up to our leaders, you know. Because, look, leaders could motivate you in any direction that they really want to go, you know.
Yes.
Because they wind you up and toss you out with the election campaign. If you fall for it, you vote for them. If not, if they could convince, because they have made statements that the governments of the Caribbean do not pay the salaries of the people on the court.
Yeah.
So you can't say, well, they're afraid that if they throw the case or whatever, that you will stop paying them. And we could trust other people who don't even care about us in more ways than one.
Well, you see, like I was saying, that is the quandary in which we find ourselves. In one vein, we say we're going to sever the ties of colonialism, but then in doing so, we're still afraid of what decisions might be handed down from the CCJ. So we're still clinging to the colonialist system. So I don't know. As you said, it's all about our leaders. If our leaders would make us feel more confidence in them, and the CCJ would, perhaps we need to see more cases coming out from the CCJ relating to governments where they are.
Whenever they lose a case, they take revenge, you know.
Well, you see, so.
I mean, you know, and again, even our political parties, they don't seem quite to get it, you know. While the people may want it, and you have a referendum, bet your life, whichever party opposes it, motivate their supporters to vote now.
Yeah.
It has failed, I think, in Antigua. I think St. Vincent, another one. More than one country it failed. Failed, you know.
Failed on the decision to join the CCJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it calls for a referendum in some constitution.
Yeah.
Then you have Trinidad, where the capital is not a member. You could understand that?
Yeah, well.
I mean, and the CCJ accommodates, because if you have a case, rather than staying in Trinidad, they come to your country and have the case there, and you could hear the trial.
Yeah, the whole trial. Yeah.
The whole trial. So you could judge, was it fair, was it not fair? You know?
Well,
I don't know.
I think that is a good idea. That could, if individuals
it
are
does,
able,
and it works like that.
Huh?
It works.
Yeah, if people can see the whole thing play out, and they can be convinced that, okay, this looks like it is upright, and and the decisions are consistent, then you could win people over into buying into the CCJ being the last court of appeal.
You know, so I didn't hear anything about the survey until the person called me.
Oh.
So, but I don't know who. Maybe CCJ, because the questions are quite interesting. Because they ask you to assess the country's response and your personal
opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's they come by your gates, don't run them. You know?
Yes.
And the Anguilla thing raises the question for Anguilla. Would they want to become independent?
Well, I would think that they want to, but because if they have reached where they are so bold as to make sure that they swear allegiance to the people as opposed to the king, who is presently in a position of, I think that it is suggesting that they want independence. And if not complete independence, they want more autonomy as it relates to the running of their country.
Yeah, because they say that the governor, who is appointed by Britain, sits in the cabinet meeting.
Mm.
So if he's there as the chief among the rest,
yes,
then he could overrule and block things that the country really wants. So they were referring to Bermuda. They said Bermuda was able to get some accommodation where they have more say. Even though they are colony, they have more say in the running of their country.
Yeah.
And they said, the British government said never again. So, and you have the case of the BBI.
Wait, Miss Henry. The British government said never again to what?
Never again. Whatever bill also will pass in Bermuda's house. So anybody who knows could call in and enlighten me.
Okay.
But one of the persons on the panel
yes,
said that. So they're looking at Anguilla. Would the people, having gone that far, what next do they intend to do? But they're seeking, as you said, more autonomy.
Yes.
In choosing the governor, and then you have Montserrat. People, you live in an independent country, and some people say, well, boy, we're too poor, we're too small, we're too whatever. You learn and you survive.
Yeah.
You learn and you survive. So I want to compliment the premier as a woman, eh?
Yeah. Yes.
she's the first female premier in Anguilla.
Yes.
And that should motivate more of our women. That brings me to the leader, Pam, a female.
Yes.
Hope she take notice too. Because you can't be one to lead and still going up there and swearing your allegiance to the king. The king has his own problem. He's only a human being. He got the cancer. The wife got the cancer. He has biding his time.
Yes.
So
don't you feel that as a progressive Caribbean region, we're going to be seeing more and more of our leaders severing these colonialistic ties?
It is the desire of a certain sector, but remember, we have colonials, eh? We got people with colonial mentality,
Yeah, but I believe that they are becoming fewer and fewer. I think the vast majority are thinking of liberating ourselves from colonialistic ties.
And Jamaica, independent over 50 years.
Yes.
And Barbados. The Barbados just gone. You understand what I'm telling you?
Maybe.
So would we have to wait the next 50 years?
Maybe Little Montserrat is leading the way, and these others will pick up and follow suit.
They said that some people in these British territories are looking forward to the assimilation of their country into the British UK. So rather than become independent, they become part of the UK with their own system.
In this
so
day and
we'll
age?
wait and see if anybody interested, Mr. McMahon or others, because a lot of our people there. Then I hope sometime during the week you get somebody to talk about the IMF report, which is out. You have Abel, and they always go to Washington, D.C. I don't know if you're okay with it, with the IMF report. Have you looked at it?
No, I've not been privy to such.
Well, yes. Well, those in the news department, we want to hear more in depth. I listened to Edinburgh last night, and he read a lot. God bless him.
Yeah.
My niece also, who lives abroad, read some to me. It can be downloaded as an audio thing, and be played.
Okay.
Very, very instructive of what is to come. Because we are singing our song,
Yeah.
Yes, there's some positive and some warnings.
Okay.
All right, then.
Okay, thank you for indulging me. Do take care and continue to have a great day.
Okay.
I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break, and when I get back, again, the lines will be open. You can call in, speak on any topic, any issue you wish, or I'll be playing a clip as it relates to Jamaica becoming a republic. Okay? Do stay tuned.
Found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. For lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC Home and Building Depot.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people, Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community, we are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it. What? Which network you have? Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
And I'm back with you. The time 10:39. You're listening to Voices, and again today started rather hectic for me. Made a few little glitches here and there, but bear with me. I'll work those out so that things can run the way they should without any mishaps. And there we had Sylvie bringing up a rather interesting topic as it relates to Anguilla and their leader swearing allegiance to the people as opposed to the king, and Anguilla being still linked to the British. So that tells me that all this time that our leaders have been swearing allegiance to the Queen and to the King, they had options where they could have sworn allegiance to the people, but chose not to do so. Chose not to sort of push the envelope, but rather follow the trend. And more of our people are becoming despondent in relation to that. The people want to hear, you swear alliance and allegiance to them, to us, the ones who elected you and put you in the position that you presently hold. Okay? So let me play for you a clip as it relates to Jamaica becoming a republic. And again, I'll remind you that if you wish to call in, you can do so and bring up any topic, or you can continue in the vein of an issue that we have been discussing so far, or you can bring up a topic of your own. The numbers are 466-0989, 762-0989, and the overseas number 305-921-4619, 718-285-6984. In the meantime, let me play for you that bit of a clip as it relates to Jamaica.
Jamaica is on the brink of a historic transformation, one that could finally sever its last colonial ties and redefine its national identity. For over 60 years since gaining independence in 1962, the island has remained under the British monarchy, with the King of England still holding symbolic power over the nation. But now, the long-debated push for a republic is gaining momentum, and Jamaica is closer than ever to replacing the British monarch with a Jamaican president. This transition becomes more than a legal or political shift. It is a profound statement about sovereignty, identity, and Jamaica's journey toward full independence. By severing this final institutional link to its colonial past, Jamaica would follow in the footsteps of other Caribbean nations, such as Barbados, which became a republic in 2021. So, what does this mean for the country's future? Will this move strengthen Jamaica's sovereignty, or are there hidden challenges ahead? As Jamaica stands at this crossroads, we at Caribbean Focus decided to take a look at this pivotal moment in the nation's history, exploring the reasons behind the push for Republican status, the process involved, and the potential implications for Jamaica's political, social, and cultural future. Stay tuned as we dive deep into this defining moment in the island's history. Let's now take a look at Jamaica's colonial history. Jamaica's relationship with Great Britain is rooted in centuries of colonial history, a complex legacy of exploitation, resistance, and transformation. In 1655, the British seized the island from Spanish control, marking the start of nearly 300 years of British colonial rule. Under British control, Jamaica became one of the largest producers of sugar in the world, relying heavily on the forced labor of enslaved Africans to sustain its plantation economy. While slavery was abolished in 1834, the British Empire continued to exert power over the country for more than a century. By the mid-20th century, as nationalist movements swept through colonies worldwide, Jamaica began its push for independence. But this wasn't an easy task. It took years of advocacy and negotiations, and Jamaica finally achieved independence on August 6, 1962, marking a turning point in its history. But many see this independence as only partial. While Jamaica was granted full control over its affairs, under this constitutional monarchy, Queen Elizabeth II remained the ceremonial head of state, represented locally by a Governor-General appointed on the advice of the Jamaican Prime Minister. In other words, all laws and decisions required the approval of the head of state, i.e. the Queen's representative on the island or the Governor-General. In essence, this gave the Governor-General the power to reject any decisions made by the democratically elected Parliament and Prime Minister, a system still in place today. Even though the Governor-General has never dismissed a law, as it is customary for them to always give consent to bills passed by Parliament, they still have the power to veto legislation passed. Effectively, the Governor-General is the most powerful political position in the country, and the King of England has the power to interfere in the affairs of the country directly. Despite independence, the continued presence of the British monarch as Jamaica's head of state has been a point of contention. Many view it as a lingering symbol of colonial domination that clashes with the nation's desire for complete sovereignty. Others, in contrast, see it as having no political effects on the country's affairs and serving as a connection to its past. Over the decades, multiple debates and efforts have been made to transition Jamaica to a republic. In 1995, for example, the government formally proposed a Republican model suggesting the replacement of the Governor General with a Jamaican president. Similarly, in 2012, during Jamaica's 50th anniversary of independence, there were renewed calls for constitutional reform. More recently, regional developments such as Barbados' transition to a republic in 2021 have reignited the conversation in Jamaica stronger than ever. Public and political support for republicanism in Jamaica is growing, driven by a collective desire to fully sever ties with the colonial past and establish a head of state representing Jamaica's people. As the nation reflects on its historical ties with Great Britain, becoming a republic has become increasingly central to Jamaica's ongoing journey towards self-determination and national pride. But where is Jamaica now? Jamaica's transition to a republic is a momentous undertaking that involves amending the country's constitution, addressing the legal implications of removing the British monarch as head of state, and determining how the new head of state will be chosen. The first task of becoming a republic is amending Jamaica's constitution, which establishes the British monarch as the head of state. To facilitate this significant constitutional change, the Jamaican government created the new Ministry for Legal and Constitutional Affairs, establishing a Constitutional Reform Committee in March 2023. This Constitutional Reform Committee was tasked with thoroughly reviewing the country's 1962 Constitution. However, the Constitution Reform Commission's approach has been criticized. Critics highlight the Commissioner's lack of diversity, with 11 of its 15 members being lawyers. This leads to concerns about insufficient representation from various sectors of Jamaican society. Additionally, though the new commission was established in 2023, it has only met a handful of times and has held few public meetings to seek the input of the wider population. Furthermore, debates have emerged regarding prioritizing becoming a republic over other constitutional reforms and appointing the future president who will replace the Governor General. Despite these challenges, the government remains committed to achieving republic status by the next general election in 2025. In a major update in December 2024, the government presented a bill in Parliament to abolish the constitutional monarchy and transition the country to a republic. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us bring you more great content. Thank you. Let's now take a look at what's in the bill. In December 2024, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, the Honorable Marlene Malahoo Fort, tabled the Constitutional Amendment Republic Act 2024 in the House of Representatives, abolishing the constitutional monarchy and transitioning Jamaica to a republic. The tabling of the bill marks the greatest progress made so far in our effort to reform the Constitution of Jamaica to achieve the national goal of having a Jamaican as head of state. Most importantly, the bill will provide comprehensive provisions for the office of the President of Jamaica as a republic, including qualifications to hold the office, the procedure for appointment, tenure of the office, including removal from office, immunity, and the oath of office. Additionally, mentions of the Crown, royal, dependencies, and other monarchical terms and institutions will be replaced. But the bill will do more than just replace the Governor General as head of state and change terms. It will touch on many other aspects of the country's constitution. The new constitution will provide the joint sitting of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate will also be expanded to include senators appointed independently of the political parties in the House of Representatives. Additionally, when appointments are being made in that category, consideration is to be given to representing the interests of Jamaican citizens living overseas. The legislation will also explicitly facilitate the inclusion of the national emblem, flag, anthem, both lyrics and music, national tree, flower, fruit, and bird, along with the motto, pledge, national song lyrics, and music and national prayer in the Constitution. It will also clarify provisions regarding Jamaican citizenship, recognition at the highest level of the Caribbean community, CARICOM, and Jamaica's participation. Let's consider the broader implications of a republic. Jamaica's transition from a constitutional monarchy to a republic will have wide-ranging implications across political, economic, cultural, and social spheres. It represents a transformative moment in Jamaica's history, but careful consideration of the consequences is essential to ensure a smooth and successful transition. Jamaica's transition to a republic raises questions about its relationship with the Commonwealth of Nations, an organization of former British colonies and territories. While Jamaica can remain a member of the Commonwealth as a republic, as nations like India, Barbados, and South Africa have done, many fear this will jeopardize its relationship with the monarchy. Another point to consider is the wider economic implications of becoming a republic. Implementing constitutional changes will require financial resources and costs associated with updating official documents, signage, and symbols that currently reference the monarchy. On the flip side, however, becoming a republic is set to enhance the country's global image as an independent, sovereign nation, which may positively influence trade, foreign relations, and tourism. Tourists, particularly from the Jamaican diaspora, may view the transition as a reason to reconnect with the country's renewed identity, potentially boosting the economy. Furthermore, the move could provide an opportunity to strengthen economic ties with regional and global partners by presenting Jamaica as a modern and self-sufficient nation free from its colonial past. As symbols, national emblems, and names that reflect colonial ties are replaced, the transition to a republic is set to inspire greater unity and civic engagement among Jamaicans. By moving beyond its colonial legacy, the nation will become fully independent and has already begun to foster a stronger sense of ownership and pride in its governance and future.
And yeah, there we had it. A bit of information as to Jamaica transitioning into a republic. Very interesting. I was thinking to myself that as Sylvie sort of enlightened us to the fact that Anguilla, the leader of in Anguilla, recently swore allegiance to the people as opposed to the monarchy, and I was thinking I think that a precedent has been set that I think that the Governor General in that position is more symbolic in this present day era, because I remember when there was a Governor General who offered some resistance to the government in power at the day, and it went up to the Queen, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was said that the Governor General is there to sign off on whatever the government wants to do. The Governor General cannot and must not impede the progress of the government. So I think it is more symbolic than ever. Hello? We lost that caller. The caller, do feel free to call back. Yes, I'm sure that many of you can. Yes. Hello? Good day.
Hello, good morning to you, Quintessential One.
Yes, good day to you, Greg.
Yes, and greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from the sin and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I would like to say this. Concerning an issue that I would like to bring up, and I've brought it up before. Just imagine, concerning the ranking, the worldwide ranking of ease of doing business, in that index, we think it's an average ranked 139 out of 130 countries. And the latest information I've had, and this seemed to be the latest information, was 2020. Okay, that seemed to be the latest information to date, the 2020 information.
Yeah.
And back then, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yes, and back then, we ranked 139 out of 190 countries.
Yeah.
And I don't think, with all due respect, if later information come in, that would change much. And that is very awful. because we rank so low in the ease of doing business. Because the more business friendly your country is, the stronger it will make your economy, the more it would rise the living standard, the more employment would be created, the more businesses you would have in your economy. But when you make it hard to do business, as we obviously are doing, it will work out worse for us. And this is one of the reasons. There are other reasons, but this is one of the reasons, and it's a big reason, why the cost of living is so high in St. Kitts and the standard of living is dropping. And unemployment is so high that you got to rely on government and the programs to get some form of employment if you are blessed enough with that, if you are successful enough with that. And this is not good for the Federation, it is not good for the economy, it is not good for the people. So, and people have complained about it, the nonsense and red tape and hoops they have to jump through to start businesses, to maintain businesses and that sort of stuff. And this is not good at all, at all. That's number one. Number two, what you're speaking about concerning becoming a republic.
Yeah.
Yes, I am all for becoming a republic. And I remember when Unity was in government, the talk of the push for republic was strong. But when Labour came into power and they put Dame Marcella Liebert as the Governor General, the talk quickly ended. You see, the talk quickly ended. And I do not know if this Republic talk at that time when Unity was in power was one of the strategies in getting them out of government, playing the people.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it is very sad and very wrong when politicians play the people because, like you mentioned, for example, you did not know as well as me, I did not know that the government could have chosen to swear to the people, to pledge allegiance to the people. I didn't know that.
You know?
I didn't know that, Even though you're quote-unquote independent, our leaders led us to believe that it is unchangeable unless we become a republic.
Yeah. And see what cements the point. Because we say we are independent. We move for independence. Anguilla is still linked to Britain, and Anguilla is bold enough to do that. That means our leaders could have done it.
But they led us to believe that they couldn't. We first have to become a republic, playing the people, fooling us, deceiving us.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But not only that. There was another point in that vein that have slipped my mind.
Okay.
That have now slipped my mind. I guess
it'll come back.
I would have to think about it. Yeah, again.
Yeah.
But but our leaders are playing us for fools, and we are enjoying it. So, yes. The other point now that it just come back to my mind. I'm going to tell you how they played us again and how they are playing us again. They're telling us that the Governor General is just symbolic, just something ceremonial. It not got no weight. That is what they are fooling us with. And I've been told that by one politician went on a government workshop with and told us that on the government workshop that it's just symbolic.
Yeah.
At the time it was Hugh Heiliger. And I've heard other people say the same thing. But in the clip that you just played, it said that the Governor General, yes, it is the norm for them to sign off on the bills that are before them, for them to become law, but that they could also reject it. They could also veto it. Now, how could such a position be merely symbolic or be merely ceremonial when you laws them have to be first signed off by them to become law. That's
Yeah.
more than being symbolic.
But Greg, it reminded me of you remember when Kennedy Simmons was prime minister,
Yes.
and you remember I think at the time Sir Probin Innes
Yes.
was you remember what happened during that period? You remember?
Yes, the confusion.
Yes, and you remember they said, I'm. What we understood was that Probin was offering some resistance as it related to signing off on some of the documentation, and it went to the Queen. And from my understanding, some legal luminary will have to enlighten us otherwise. From my understanding, I think it was said that the Queen said that even though the Governor General represents the monarchy, the Governor General, the present day Governor Generals are supposed to sign off on whatever the government proposes, because if they don't do that, it would impede the progress of the country, because then you will not be able to implement laws. So that is why I feel it is. And remember, he was eventually removed.
Yeah.
So that is why I feel that it is perhaps really only symbolic.
No, but it can't be, because I'm going to tell you why it can't be. Just think about it. What if the Queen had decided she ain't signing off on it?
Well, that is the point. That is it.
So that's more than symbolic? Because if it is up to the Queen
Yes, you're right. You're
to
right.
remove that Governor General, and then it cannot be merely symbolic.
I agree.
Because if the Queen had said no,
Yes.
he's going to remain there.
Yes.
Your laws can't pass.
I agree. I concur with you. Yes. Yes, you're
So
right.
it's more than symbolic.
So then we would have to go through becoming a republic.
Exactly.
Yes, okay. Yeah. I concur.
But you see, like I said, I believe this Republic talk during unity time was just a mere political one of these political strategies to get them out. Because as soon as I'm not for none of these political parties. I could care less about them. But I talk it how I see it.
Yes, yes.
And as soon as the Master Labor became Governor General, because she was nominated by the Labour Party, all talks died out about that.
Don't you think?
Even people who's supposed to be quote unquote conscious, certain rest of the people and that sort of stuff, even them you can't hear now.
But listen, Greg, don't you think that if the Labour Party was to move, we're just using a hypothetical here. Let's say the Labour Party was to move towards becoming a republic. Don't you think that they could transition Dame Marcella Liebert from being a Governor General to the President if they wanted to?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. But as far as what me concerned, we should get rid of the Governor General office, period. We should become a republic. You know, for me, I have said that since she has become Governor General. I have said it more than once on the radio. So that has not shut me up. But I realize it has shut up a lot of people, even people, including certain rest of people who are supposed to be quote unquote conscious.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're gone silent.
But
I would think if we go republic, that the prime minister would be the president.
The prime minister, could the prime minister be prime? Yes. We wouldn't have a prime minister. We would then have a president.
Yes.
Okay. How is it in Guyana? Because Guyana is a republic. How is it in Guyana? The leader.
How is it in Guyana?
Yeah, the leader is the president.
That is my understanding.
Okay.
That is my understanding. It's the same thing in Barbados is a republic, isn't it?
Yes.
Lately, isn't it?
I guess
Yeah.
I guess I would have to do some more research and reading up as to how that plays out. Yeah.
The lady is the head of Barbados.
Yes.
Mayor?
Mayor Motley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Governor General, since they lost the office, I haven't heard of any one of them being given any position in the Republic.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, anyhow. Another thing, quickly I want to say. I do not trust our government stats. I think we are worse than how we are really doing when government get the stats, because one reason I do not trust the stats is because I know.
Yeah.
For example, at Inland Revenue, when the IMF came in, we would hide information from them and give them certain edited information. So they never had the whole picture.
Okay.
You know, like, for example, information as to the amount of people who owed and that sort of stuff was mostly hidden from them. So I don't trust our government thing. And I heard of in another office where information concerning the AIDS thing and so wasn't too accurate either.
Okay.
It was to fulfill an agenda. So I don't trust our government stats. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for that input. I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break and I'll be back with you.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Here are your Horseman's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running February 20th to March 5th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Nature Valley granola bars are just $12.99 each. Stonebridge Premium Ice Cream, $16.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese Bars, just $7.99. Lender's Bagels, $12.99. Banquet Chicken Tenders and Nuggets, $24.99. Morningstar Meatless Entrees, just $20.99 each. And now, our very low weekly
Value deals! Essential everyday gelatins, $4.99. Libby's canned vegetables, $2.99. Almond breeze, almond milk, $17.99. The Peter Pan peanut butter, $12.99. Ed shaving gel cream, $16.99. White Rain shampoo and conditioner, $16.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Okay, I'm back with you. The time approximately 8 minutes moving away from the 11 o'clock hour, and so far so good. Apart from the few glitches and mistakes that I made personally, things have been going along quite nicely. The interaction has been good, so let's keep it in that vein. Again, if you want to call, interact, bring up any topic of your liking, and we will engage you, or I will engage you, okay? Now, let me see what we can peruse presently. I have a bit of information here as it relates to the Caribbean's top 10 economies. Okay, so let's see if we can delve into that and be enlightened as to what are the Caribbean's top 10 economies.
The Caribbean is not just a paradise for sun seekers, it's a powerhouse of economic growth in 2024. While the world is uncertain, the Caribbean defies the odds, with several nations posting jaw-dropping growth rates and redefining their futures. From Guyana's oil-fueled boom to Grenada's tourism surge, these economies are thriving like never before. But what's driving this incredible momentum? In this video, let's dive into the 10 fastest-growing Caribbean economies of 2024, backed by IMF data, to uncover the secrets behind their success. Whether it's renewable energy projects, booming tourism, or groundbreaking investments, these nations are setting the stage for a new era of Caribbean prosperity. Join us as we explore the trends, challenges, and opportunities shaping the region's economic future and discover the top 10 fastest-growing Caribbean economies of 2024. So, where did we get the numbers? Data on the fastest-growing Caribbean economies in 2024 comes from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF has provided comprehensive economic analyses of many countries, including GDP growth projections, sectoral performance, and key investment trends. By leveraging this data, we can gain valuable insights into each country's economic growth rate and highlight what is driving this growth and the impact it will have on its future. So, without further ado, let's get started. Starting with Grenada with 3% GDP growth at number 10. Grenada, the Spice Isle. Despite its small size, it has been doing consistently well in recent years. In 2024, Grenada's economy grew by 3%, driven by a booming tourism sector and a surge in citizenship by investment (CBI) revenue, which resulted in a large budget surplus, increased government deposits, and reduced public debt. The government has successfully focused on managing the volatile nature of its tourism and investment revenues, strengthening public financial management, and addressing risks in the non-bank financial sector. While growth for the country has been strong, Grenada still faces some challenges to see this continued trajectory. Capacity constraints in tourism sectors and investments are beginning to slow the country's economic expansion, as evident from its 1.75% decline in economic growth compared to 2023. Still, if the country can expand its tourism sector, prudently manage investment revenues, and reduce its dependence on imported energy and fossil fuels, it is poised to see continued growth in 2025 with a projected growth rate of 3.9%. After Grenada, we have St. Lucia with 3.9% GDP growth at number 9. St. Lucia is another Caribbean country that has seen remarkable growth in recent years. The country experienced robust economic growth in 2024, with its GDP expanding by 3.9% in 2025. This marked the fourth consecutive year of GDP growth since Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre took office in July 2021. Strong performances in the construction and tourism sectors primarily drove the country's economy. Tourism, in particular, showed significant recovery, with stay-over arrivals surpassing 2019 levels by October 2024. The government's economic policies, including the MSME Loan Grant Facility, Youth Economy Agency, and Community Tourism Agency, supported local businesses and contributed to this growth. Additionally, St. Lucia attracted over $1.1 billion in foreign direct investment, and multiple government-backed public sector projects will inject over $600 million into the economy through 2026. The future is bright for the country, as the IMF predicts it will see great growth of 2.6% in 2025. Next, at number 8, we have Barbados with 3.9% GDP growth. This one's a tie. Alongside St. Lucia, we have our next well-growing economy, Barbados. Barbados experienced robust economic growth in 2024, with real GDP expanding by 3.9%. This growth was primarily driven by strong performances in the tourism, business services, and construction sectors, according to an assessment conducted by the IMF during its visit in 2024. The tourism industry played a crucial role, with tourist arrivals through September 2024 increasing by approximately 13% compared to the same period in 2023. The construction sector further demonstrated the country's resilience, which grew by 7.2% compared to 2023. This is despite Hurricane Beryl's impact on the country in July, which damaged the fishing sector and coastal infrastructure. However, the IMF expects the country's impressive growth to taper off at 3% in 2025, which is still remarkable. Coming at number 7, there's St. Kitts and Nevis with 4.4% GDP growth. St. Kitts and Nevis experienced moderate economic growth in 2024, with GDP expanding by 4.4%. This growth rate represented a significant uptick compared to the previous year's 2.3% growth rate. The tourism sector, which remained a cornerstone of the economy, grew by a whopping 8.2% in 2024, contributing significantly to the overall economic performance with 104,500 tourist arrivals. This development helped boost positive growth in many services-related sectors, including construction, hotels and restaurants, wholesale and retail trade, financial services, and transportation. As Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew stated at the Budget 2025 National Forum, the future of St. Kitts and Nevis's economy is bright. The Prime Minister highlighted plans to construct a new MRI building and hospital, invest in solar and geothermal energy, and expand the cannabis industry. By the way, if you're finding this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insights. Thank you. This brings us to St. Vincent and the Grenadines with 4.5% GDP growth at number 6. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have just slightly outperformed St. Kitts and Nevis with a GDP growth of 4.5%. While this number is down quite significantly from the previous year's 5.8%, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' economy is still doing remarkably well. This is driven by continued recovery in the tourism sector and strong investment in infrastructure projects, such as the purchase of a mobile harbor crane to boost cargo handling capacity in the port of Kingstown. This might be why the country reached the fantastic milestone of surpassing US $1 billion in GDP in early 2024, expected to reach US $1.25 billion by the end of 2025. Large-scale public and private investments supported the favorable economic performance in 2024, which contributed to the overall economic recovery from the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2021 volcanic eruptions. Let's hope St. Vincent and the Grenadines will achieve its target of 4% growth in 2025. And now we enter the top 5. Coming at number 5, there is Dominica with 4.6% GDP growth. Dominica is one of the smallest economies in the region, but it does not mean they are not doing big things. The country's economy is growing, hitting a growth rate of 4.6% in 2024. Like many countries in the region, much of this growth was due to tourism, with stayover arrivals finally returning to pre-pandemic levels. Agriculture expansion initiatives and advancements in priority infrastructure projects also contributed to economic growth. For example, the government's ambitious public sector investment program, including projects to enhance climate resilience and transition to renewable energy sources, played a crucial role in sustaining economic momentum. Despite these positive developments, Dominica continues to face challenges related to its high public debt, with the country's debt-to-GDP ratio reaching a whopping 97%. This leads us to Dominican Republic with 5.1% GDP growth at number 4. Dominican Republic is the first and only Spanish-speaking country on this list. The country saw an impressive 5.1% GDP growth in 2024. As the biggest tourist market in the Caribbean, it is no surprise the country's growth was driven by tourism. However, monetary easing, increased public investment, and growth in exports helped take the country's economy to the next level. The tourism sector played a significant role in the economy's performance, as it generated US $10 billion in direct income and attracted a record level of foreign direct investment of approximately US $4.5 billion. It is no surprise that the country's growth rate is expected to stay constant with 5% GDP growth, according to the IMF for 2025. In the top 3, we have Belize with 5.4% GDP growth at number 3. Belize has been doing significantly well in managing its public debt and its economic growth in recent years, achieving 5.4% GDP growth in 2024, far surpassing the regional average. This growth was primarily driven by key sectors such as tourism, construction, wholesale and retail trade, accommodations, transportation, and business process outsourcing. The country's GDP per capita increased by $5,500 in just 4 years, and in the second quarter alone, the economy grew by an impressive 10.5%. While the country's growth is positioned well for the future, debt dynamics are expected to remain a challenge. The country's fiscal deficit widened due to narrowing its primary surplus and the acquisition of the port of Belize. Still, however, the country can see strong growth in 2025, with GDP projected to grow at 2.5%. Now, coming in at number 2 stands Antigua and Barbuda with 5.5% GDP growth. The twin island nation of Antigua and Barbuda didn't stay behind and saw a remarkable GDP growth of 5.5% in 2024. This impressive performance was largely attributed to the country's hosting of the United Nations Small Island Developing States Conference and co-hosting of the T20 Cricket World Cup, both of which significantly boosted various sectors of the economy. The tourism industry, a key driver of Antigua and Barbuda's economy, continued to grow strongly, while construction activity remained buoyant. On top of that, the government has implemented a package of revenue measures in 2024, including increases in taxes and a broadening of the tax base, which has helped improve the government's fiscal position while not slowing its growth trajectory. This economic expansion in 2024 represented a continuation of the country's strong recovery trajectory following the COVID-19 pandemic, building upon the growth rates of 8.9% in 2023 and 9.5% in 2022, with 2025 expecting growth of 3.5%. And finally, at the top of the list, we have Guyana with 43.8% GDP growth. This is probably no surprise to those prudent about developments in the Caribbean. Guyana tops our list again with an outstanding GDP growth of 43.8% and almost doubling the country's economy. Building upon the remarkable 33% expansion witnessed in 2023, this extraordinary economic performance was predominantly fueled by the rapidly expanding oil and gas sector, with offshore production reaching a milestone of approximately 645,000 barrels per day from the Starborough Block, operated by ExxonMobil and its partners. However, the oil-driven economic boom had profound ripple effects across multiple sectors, as the non-oil economy demonstrated robust resilience, growing by 13.1% and showcasing the country's diversification efforts. Sectors such as agriculture, construction, financial services, and the digital economy accelerated dramatically in 2024, with numerous large-scale projects transforming the national landscape. The government and private sector invested heavily in urban infrastructure, transportation networks, and public facilities, creating thousands of jobs and stimulating economic activity. The extractive industries like mining and quarrying expanded by 55.9% on their own, while the manufacturing sector expanded by an impressive 13.5%, showing that diversification is fueling much of the country's success. With such an impressive run, international financial institutions and global economic analysts consistently highlighted Guyana as one of the world's fastest growing economies, with projections suggesting the country will continue to see astounding trend with 14.4% growth in 2025. The country's economic transformation will continue to attract significant international attention, positioning Guyana as an emerging economic powerhouse in the Caribbean region and a potential model for resource-driven economic development.
Wow. A whopping 43.8%. Oh. Well, not surprising, considering that Guyana has the oil deposits. But another important fact is that Guyana is experiencing a growth, a more balanced growth, because their tourism sector, their IT sector, their agriculture, and social development are in sync with the other vital things that spur growth in Guyana. And we also saw that St. Kitts and Nevis, the Federation, was at number 7, not too far from the middle point. Antigua Barbuda at number 2. Not too long ago, we here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis were experiencing a growth trend that was surpassing Antigua Barbuda, but Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica is at number 3, I think it was. No, at number 5. Wow, rather impressive. Hello, good day.
Yes, me.
Yes.
Tell me when I'm on here.
You're on air.
Oh, because I was listening to my radio and the TV.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you from the IMF report, you moved down.
Yeah, we have.
Significantly, you know.
Yes. As I was saying, not too long ago, we were ahead of Antigua Barbuda, but they have surpassed us.
one of the reasons for us to, a lot of these capital projects didn't come off.
Yes, yes.
So there was not much investment. When you talk about the MRI building not finished, nor is the MRI machine in place. Got to say, it has to be ordered. The 600 houses a year, you know what impact that would have made?
Yes, yes. That would have been that would have been.
Yeah, it would have absorbed all of the idle labor.
Yes.
Excess.
Yeah.
So government's expenditure has increased dramatically. They try to take out some, but the very wage bill is massive. Government has been put in a position where it had to absorb a lot of the labor.
Yeah.
And the government debt is increasing.
Yeah.
It's not far from the 60%, I think it is 61, they said. It is predicted to go to 68. Because, and then the CBI got a beating.
Yeah.
It is predicted to continue.
But
so that's why the IMF. Go ahead.
Didn't we get some news that the CBI experienced a tremendous rebound?
Well, I suppose if you below zero and you come up to 1, and it's predicted to continue.
You mean the downward trend?
Well, it is so uncertain, you know?
Yes.
And even in the financial sector, they're saying. But I think we passed bills to say that they have to pay 15% because the IMF mentioned it. Those offshore companies
yes
should pay at least 15%. They're talking about fiscal consolidation, which means trying to get a kind of balance between your expenditure and your income.
Yes.
So a lot of things we're going to have to pay to get it. Because the revenue keep going down, some of the expenditure that we have committed ourselves to, we just going to have to change them. Talk about the social services and so.
Yes.
So a lot is coming, you know. So I hear them playing, inflation is only 2 point something. But the government is the one who's trying to keep it down because they said that they must get the VAT back to where it was. I'm encouraging people, go online to imf.org. You look across for the country thing, you click on the country, and then you look for St. Kitts and Nevis consultation for 2025. Because you're gonna have people trying to play over it. If there was if we talk about the new hospital, digging up the road, it doesn't amount to much, 2 or 3 machines. We need some kind of activity that would increase the labor force.
Yes.
Take people off of the line. A lot of cutting grass and park and beaches and.
As you stated earlier, just those houses, if they had been able to implement even just
even half, even 300 then.
That would have tremendously helped our growth expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talk about the what do you call it? The energy.
The renewable energy?
Yes.
Yes.
That is delayed.
Yeah.
I asked last night when are they going to really start? Because you get 30 million, I think it was, right?
Yes.
And a loan. That is to drill. What about the investment to get the thing from there to St. Kitts, to other places?
Because from my understanding, this thing is that 30 million is just a drop a
in
drip
the bucket.
in the bucket, because
They're unable to find people who are willing to invest them hundreds of millions.
yeah, because even though it will help us tremendously, a lot of finances are going to be
Required and we don't have it.
yes, yes,
And with the CBI dropping,
yeah,
I prefer my country, You see, sometimes I tell people, sometimes people complain about the IMF. They warn you 1 year, they warn you 2 years. 'Cause I know I was work with them. You ignore. You talk about the banks, the financial sector with these non-performing loans. They say, look, we've some of those things that you had during COVID. Where they were given moratorium.
yes.
But some people think the moratorium means forever.
Let me ask you something, Sylvie. Why is it that we know our banks have a lot of money? Why is it that our banks are so reluctant to find meaningful ways of making sure that that money develops or helps the country? Is it just good enough for them to have these big sums of money just there, and the economy itself is just floundering?
Well, look at it this way. The accepted level of non-repayment of mortgages or debt is 5%, right?
Yes.
11, 16. People borrowing and not paying.
Okay.
Now, I mean, you're going to take up more of the same?
Okay, so that explains the reluctance.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Because they way past it, I mean, they keep warning them that could cause banks to collapse and so.
Yes.
Good thing they have some of the IMF money, the CBI money in the bank.
Yeah.
So money going in, but they can't find a borrower. So you notice during December, everybody was throwing money. Throwing money.
And one of the reasons
Money now, you can borrow 200,000 to buy your car. I mean, they're not productive.
Yes.
They make a lot of non-productive loans.
Yes, yes, yes.
And some people should be advised, build a smaller house. You can borrow 450,000 to buy a house for you and your children to live in. 1, 2.
That is a good point. That is a good
And
point.
as soon as they graduate, you have a bunch of ungrateful children, no matter what people say. Ungrateful is what I call it. Your mother go and take up a NHC house. It's training to pay, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you come out of CFBC, or you come out of university or technical school, you don't think about trying at least to help to bring down. Well, I want my house too. So you're no longer able to help your mother. A lot of them don't even contribute.
Yeah.
So they're gone, and they're gone who can't afford the house, go and buy a vehicle. Sometimes where they live crumbling,
You know that is a very, very good point, Sylvine, because if a lot of the younger individuals would understand that if you went away to study, you come back home, stay and live with your parents. Don't matter what people say. Live, your family have a home. Even if you have to give your mom or your dad something, it is not going to come up to anywhere near if you have to go and pay rent in a
That's
place.
true. I have a case, right? I have a case where a tenant struggled to put the child to college, right?
Yes.
During the time the child in college, tell me you could have given a little ease, and I will pay.
Yes.
And the nice Christian heart in me say, yeah, taking part.
Yes.
When the child come out to say, hey, me one you got? You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And so the poor mother struggling until now is years. And then the impudent child talk about, oh, well, if we ain't pay by a certain number of years, we own the house. And the place is in a deplorable state. So I just say ungrateful children. Some of them got 2 and 3 car parked outside the mother house. And the house could do well with you go up to the sea and credit some lumber or asphalt.
You know, I've often said to young people, if you went up to anywhere who sells cars and you bought a car at 11 o'clock this morning, and you go tomorrow at 11 o'clock to try to sell the very same car, you can't get it sold for what you bought it for, you know.
You gone far back. If you drove it and driving it out of the lot, and somebody come down the road and run into you. You understand?
Yeah, you know. So
but
young people.
So many cars come in and so. Go and see where some of them live. Go and see where some of the parents live.
Yeah.
When you're going up and look, God bless the Virgin Islands, eh? I know in the village, nearly everybody had this little 2 wooden thing.
Yes.
And the children go down to the Virgin Islands or wherever. And they say, my mother ain't got no stove. She cooking in the yard on the coal pot. They send back a stove. They come up, no electricity in there, they put it in. And the aim is to make the living condition of my mother better than when I left it. But that's why some of them coming home bawling, but they get deported. They just stand up on the side wall. I mean, I'm telling you.
You know, that is one of the big difference with us and those the students of those developing countries, developed Canada, the US, whatnot. They would come home and they live with their parents.
Yeah, in the basement or wherever, or even paying rent.
Yeah.
He just come when I come back with my food, my lunch. So they're getting servant. Then they don't want to have to pay on the bill. They want you put in internet when not done. They want cable. They want hot water. You understand what I'm talking about?
You know, Sylvine, that sort of, this morning when I was coming to the studios, right, coming across there on George Street, you know, there's a school not too far from us, right?
Yeah, the Catholic.
Yes, and I saw this mother, and she was pulling, you know, the things that the children pull with their books and school books. And she had that pull in, and also maybe a bag with his lunch, and a little boy way ahead of his mother walking, swinging his hand freely. And I was thinking to myself, of like, you know, sort of the mischievous side of me was thinking of saying to her, Miss, you're starting him off wrong, you know, because
that's true.
Here you are, and he's swinging his hand, and you're right. We're playing
servant, you know.
A lot of the present day parents are, I don't know how to put it.
I don't know. I live in Newtown, right? I live Pan site. But down Newtown, you never see my old house. I mean, don't talk about Irish Town. And the children got car, you know. Some places got 3 and 4 car outside some old houses. Being in the government, but I mean, you understand?
So how do we?
You don't see that we grow up thinking, look, we got to help our parents to get out of this poverty thing, eh?
Yes.
So when we get a job, you give something, you help. Mama can pay the light bill, I can pay the water. Some of the people live in the NLC house since 1995. God bless my name, Douglas. Bill 500, and the hundreds of them were not paying. And then they facilitate it by giving the children them a house each. So 16 houses, there's 6 more houses. Poor mother struggling, can't pay, or maybe she's now collecting Social Security.
So Sylvine, is there a way that we can change, how do we impress upon our young people that their own fiscal management is important to the development of their country? How do we impress that upon them?
By our willingness to allow them to blame you, say you're cheap, you mean. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, look, I used to say, who want loan go bank? Because when you go down to the bank, You can't go to, well, I can't give this month, because so and so and so and so. Or the bailiff will come for you. So every teacher responsibility. Because my philosophy is, after I'm educated, you give me a good education.
Yeah.
Where you go work.
Yeah.
I don't think I owe you anything, really. I will support you, but not finance you.
Yes.
And the government take up the same position. Financing a lot of those who with their own effort, could do better. So I'm saying, like poor people. Well, darling, I come from the poor, so poor as all clerks say. I mean, serious.
Yes, yes. I remember when I was a kid growing up. As far back as I remember, I was living with a great aunt, and I remember one day she brought me out in the yard, and you remember those big bath pans? You remember those big bath pans?
Yeah. I know them,
my head could barely reach over the bath pan, so she put it down on the ground, and she took my underwear, threw them into the water, and said to me, you're going to start with these. You're going to start to learn to, And today I can cook, because growing up I saw my stepfather. He was a good cook. I can cook, I can wash, I can iron, I can do anything, and I'm an electrical engineer by profession, and I don't have a problem with doing these things. Whereas I look at even my oldest son. I remember saying to him I said, you better learn to cook and so on and so forth, because when you get a woman and she doesn't want to do this for you, what are you going to do? So you're right. We need to give our youths more responsibility.
Just that.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
And stop. Everybody wants the children.
Stop trying to cushion
do well,
them.
but they got to understand certain things. I remember when my daughter was going to university, could start my business. I tell her, darling, I went to university, right? So no child could pull anything on me. If you're going for 3 years, it's 3 years. I said, when you see the rest of them partying, and up in that yard for 7 years, someone out there 7 years, they didn't graduate yet.
Yes.
I said, let me tell you, Development Bank want results. If they don't get the result that you pass the subjects, they're not going to continue giving you the loan. So don't take them on, Make sure you secure your Development Bank loan,
Yes.
Yeah. Because some of all the child want is the child wanting that. They should have a good life. They might not have good easily, but they had understanding.
Yes.
I mean, you mean, and you got it. I said, darling, I didn't send you school to model. They think I was hard. Some of them still think so. But today, most of them working.
Yes.
They get the understanding. Mommy buy me a car. Me must buy you a car. But, I mean, really, some people need to talk to the children.
Yes.
Talk to them.
My oldest son, he when he was very young, he lived in the Keys area, so you know how traffic goes through Keys. And I remember he told me he wanted a bicycle, and I said to him, look, number one, I can't afford to get you a bicycle right now. But even if I could afford to get you a bicycle, that is at the time, I said, I will not buy you a bicycle, because look at where you live on that hill. You come out on a bicycle and bam, you're gone. Well, he's a grown man today. He has his own vehicle and blah, 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 blah.
They learn,
Yeah.
It's not very petulant, but they learn. So we have a lot, our people, so it start with the government to tell them so. I said, you don't like poor people. I said, when they were giving this BBW, and people working for 5,000, and you're giving them that, what do you inculcate them to do?
Yes.
And the same thing the IMF said with the social program, only include those who are in need. It's in the this year to tell all of you, please go and read it. Taxes going up. A lot of what they say makes sense. But a lot of it we have brought upon ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, Sylvie.
All right then.
Yeah, take care. Thanks again for your interaction. Always enlightening as usual. And I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break. The time is 15 minutes, moving up to the 15 minutes before 12. At 12 o'clock, we break for our news. And I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break right now. And when I get back, I don't know if I'll be able to play it in its entirety, but I'll play for you a clip in relation to the Caribbean debt crisis and the 10 most indebted Caribbean countries. Okay? So we'll take a bit of a break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Tune in to Creative Voices, the ultimate radio call-in program where innovation meets inspiration. Join me, Dr. Sarah Owen, as I welcome brilliant Caribbean creatives and innovators for engaging sessions that promise to spark your creativity. Don't miss this unique opportunity to interact with our guests, ask your burning questions, and gain insights that could elevate your own creative endeavors. Tune in every other Friday from 10 a.m. to midday. Get inspired. Let your voice be heard. Mark your calendars and prepare to embark on a journey of creativity and innovation with Creative Voices.
If you live in low-lying areas, be aware of the possibility of tsunamis immediately after an earthquake. A strong earthquake lasting 20 seconds or more is a natural tsunami warning. Do not wait for an official warning. Gather your family members and evacuate immediately after the shaking stops. Don't delay. A tsunami could occur within minutes.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with Win FM.
Okay, I'm back with you, and the time is, let me see here, 11:48. We've got a little bit, okay, let me indulge this individual. Hello, good day.
Yes, it is me again.
Yes.
The quintessential one.
Yes.
Yes. First of all, your YouTube channel, the volume seemed to be very low.
Okay.
I mean, I've listened to other things on YouTube and the volume higher than you all own.
Okay.
I think you all need to put up your YouTube volume significantly more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is that, now, like I said, as a Christian, I always believe in the Bible way of doing things, okay?
Yes.
And even in my first call, the context, even though I did not call out Bible passages and say the context was still the Bible, and I always believe in continuing that. Now, over the years, I have been saying to us, our government, etc., need to be doing things the Bible way. And I have said to people, one of the reasons why, there are different reasons, but one of them is why our cost of living is so high is because of our social programs. The government handing out money to people. And I have explained why in the past. And I have told people everything the government does, it costs money. Everything the government does, it have to use money to finance whatever. And yes, they're going to take loans, which our national debt is. You see, the figure that they give for our national debt is simply how much in loans the government owes on us.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Mm.
And remember, there are interest to those loans, so the national debt I don't think that they include the interest figure. I think it is the basic what's I forgot forgot the word that they use for it. But I don't think it is the interest. But I've told people, yes, so the national debt is all it is the loans that the government owe. And like I said, interest is on it. Now, let me also say this. I've also said as well, over the years, but people, because I speak Bible and so people hate it, but I've always said that the government will sooner or later have to increase taxes on us to pay for all these things that we are demanding of the government. And when they do that sooner or later, it's going to even make things worse economically on us. Because it's going to cut the cost of living even more. More businesses are going to shut down. Employment is going to increase. The standard of living is going to decrease. That sort of stuff. You know, and we love to play that, reality is optional. But reality is not optional. Reality is what we have to face and live with.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised with the IMF. The IMF. I mean, I've been going through a little bit of it since Sylvain has mentioned. I've been going through a little of it. They recommend that the VAT 6 month thing be phased out. Our national debt is what they say. They say the fiscal deficit is what 61% of the GDP, and the fiscal deficit is simply all the fiscal deficit simply mean is that government is spending more than what it is getting in revenue.
Yeah.
That's all the fiscal deficit is. Government is spending more than what it is bringing in revenue. And that's a terrible thing for it to be 61 of your gross national product. That's not something to laugh about. That's very, very serious. You know, no, with all due respect, I do not so much go for all of these projection because a lot of the IMF report, a lot of it had to do with projection. I do not so much go with projection. I think it would be worse than how much than what they are projecting. And like I said, I do not trust government stats. I think things are even worse here. So I don't even think the IMF is working and the true statistics of things when they come here for that. Because like I said, things have been hidden from them. I know the Inland Revenue have a history of that. So I think things are worse than how they have even said.
Well, usually that is the case. Usually things are worse than what they, because you don't want to give people a sense of panic and so on and so forth. So they usually use a bit of diplomacy in presentation of the figures and that kind of stuff. So you're right.
And you hedge them and you cook the books.
Yeah.
Mark it. And the change just, revenue, I understand with things with such, but like I said, even during the AIDS pandemic, I understand the books will also cook on that to make the debts them look higher than they really were.
Yeah.
To further sort of agenda, maybe to point people to take vaccine and that sort of stuff. But we need to represent things as they truly are, because if you misrepresent things and you make things look better than how they really are, in the end you're going to end up being the loser. Because when reality sets in, you are not prepared to deal with it because you made things look better than they really are. So I would like to say again, everything that happened, every problem that come up, the government should spend money on this, the government should deal with it, the government should deal with that, rather than, hey, the government privatize a lot of what it's doing, and instead the economy run by the government, the economy is supposed to be run by the private sector and lessen the government expenses. Because the more you increase government expenses in doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, is the more the government going to have to raise taxes sooner or later. And when they do that sooner or later, the worse you're going to be in. The worse the situation you're going to be in. You know, reality is not optional. Reality is what we have to live with. And the Bible way is the only way to go. All that I've been saying is based upon what the Bible says, and countries that have used those principles have benefited. Right now, I would say Javier Milei in Argentina, the president of Argentina, right now he is the best leader in the world because he has cut a lot of and finished up with a lot of government departments in Argentina, and as a result, the country has been booming economically. The poverty rate have gone down tremendously than before he came in. It have gone down. Homelessness have decreased a lot. That's also because Javier Milei, unintentionally or not, has used certain biblical principles to govern his country and there are other things he wants to do, but because of Parliament, he ain't getting them through. But even what he has done, based upon biblical principles, have benefited Argentina a whole lot. Imagine if he had get to do more than he wanted to do by not being blocked by the Parliament. You know? So and lastly, I would like to tell people, you die in your sins, you're going to end up in hell for all eternity. Only the blood of Jesus could save you from hell. Okay, thank you very much. There's a lot more I would like to say, but let me cut off for now so that you could play what you want to play.
No.
And remember, put up your all YouTube volume.
I won't be able to do that today because, you know, so we have other days when we can delve into those things. Thanks again for your indulgence. Yeah. Okay, so, where am I? Yes. The time, 3 minutes before 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, it's the news. I think I'm going to call it a wrap for today. Take a break and do continue to have a great day. Don't do anything that you'll regret. And in whatever you do, don't overdo anything because too much of anything is good for nothing. Do take care.
Found the sound 98.9.